our two-board view. On the right side, Min and Arjun Erigaisi. I think that match might be close. And on the left side, we have Magnus and Eric. And for the Magnus fans out there, they don't want the match to be close. They want to see Magnus dominate as he has been doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's Magnus with the white pieces. Obviously, the pace is very, very quick from both players. Maybe some of the quickest we've seen, Robert. I mean, they're both 45 seconds and they're right deep into the middle game. I'd say that Magnus has a slight advantage in the position you see because he has this lovely central square that his queen is sitting on. And this square could be deadly later on. But Eric getting counterplay now.
Eric's doing this perfectly, but that bishop on f8, Simon, we saw that in an earlier match, just a bad piece compared to the knight on d2, which will reroute to the light squares. So I like Magnus' position. Eric seemed a little upset at himself there. And by the way, the chat, they made predictions. They said 43% of them said that Eric would score under 3 points. 44% said 3 to 5. 12% thinks he'll score 5 or more points. 5 is a lot to ask for against Magnus.
I'd be happy getting that half point. I would hold on to that for the rest of my life in bullet chess. I mean, we can see now Magnus moving his rook all the way down to the end, getting a dangerous back rank there, but more pieces getting exchanged. The problem with Black's position here, I would say, Robert, is the bishop. Look at Black's bishop. Eric's bishop is like a big pawn. It's trapped in by the two central pawns, and White's knight, beautiful in the middle of the board. And just positionally speaking, even though Magnus is only one pawn up, well, there he goes, 2 pawns up, that bishop just can't do anything. So the first game seems to be going Magnus's way.
The bishop was bad. The clock management was a problem. That c7 pawn that's nearly queening is an issue. Magnus, too fast, too strong, gets game 1. And we see on the right-hand side of our screen, it looks like
it's getting exchanged there, and that is generally good news for Black to equalize the position. Eric really needs to get going at the start of this match, and actually now he's generated some pressure here. I wouldn't have swapped queens though against Magnus. Try to keep the queens on against this guy. He's so good with the queens off the board. And how do you think they're going to commiserate or celebrate afterwards, Robert? You know, as they're in the same room, do you think they might have a shandy afterwards?
I think celebrate is definitely what they'll be doing, no matter. Well, if Magnus loses, I don't think they'll be celebrating. But I don't think Magnus is going to lose, so I think they will be celebrating. And I don't think we want to talk about how they're going to be celebrating, but they might live stream it. So there is that.
Oh wow, that'd be awesome to see as well. I think it's probably better for their celebrations that Magnus wins, because he's supposed to win, and if Eric does pull off a big upset, I don't know, is the party going to be as good? I'm not sure. So, yeah, you know, we've got to think about these social things before you party. And Black seems to be doing quite well here in the game. Again, I'm looking at the game between Eric and Magnus, Robert. I mean, nice last move there.
Look at that king. I mean, the king is on d4 with a pass pawn in front of it. And this is a good lesson. Use your king as a weapon in the endgame. It doesn't need to be defended. It's not going to get checkmated. So I like the way that Magnus is handling this. He's forcing the white king back. And knight to c4 coming. That is going to be a win for Magnus.
Very good move there. The backwards knight moves are said to be some of the hardest moves to spot. And look at that big d pawn. Okay, he's lost the pawn now. But after an exchange on d2, Magnus goes into a winning king and pawn ending 2